morning.
All right, it's 6 o'clock. We're going to start our meeting. If you'll all stand, Mr. Galloway's going to introduce our local pastor.
So for our invocation tonight, we have Pastor Richard Garza from Central Iglesia Cristiana here in West Columbia. Pastor is actually my neighbor, moved in several years back. He's a great man, does a great job leading his church. His church is very active in supporting our community. I made a deal with him. I love to tell this story. I made a deal with him when he moved in. Told him, Pastor, I like to take care of the yards and take care of things. So I'll keep the fire inside of your yard if you keep the devil out of mine. But he's a huge supporter. He and his church are huge supporters of Columbia, Missouri ISD. Again, this past Sunday, we had our baccalaureate. And Pastor, that may be the 20th year you participated in baccalaureate. So he's someone that pours into the students and the staff of CBISD.
Thank you. It's an honor for me to be here. I'm going to start you all with a joke. There was this lady invited an older lady in our church to try to come to church, and she says, I can't come to church. And they asked her, well, why can't you come to church? He said, I got some chickens, and they can't be by themselves. And then she said, well, they're not by themselves. God's there, and he'll take care of the chickens. He said, well, if that's the case, I'll go to church. So she says that I banged on the pulpit, and I said, God is here. She went to that lady that brought her to church. He says, take me home, them chickens are by themselves. Praise God. Well, would you all bow your heads and close your eyes? Dear Lord, we're gathered here together for this board meeting. We invite you, presence among us. Grant them clarity in thought, in unity of purpose and wisdom in their decisions. May their discussions be guided by you, by your truth, and their actions reflect your will. Bless each member with strength and understanding, and may your peace fill this room. Amen.
Amen.
I've never been to a, and that's my fault. I've never been to a meeting, and I know Mr. Galloway, I know some of you, and I want to say personally, I'm very honored to have the school board that we do have. I see the growth in our church, in our school, and I see the difference in our children. And we always pray for y'all. You're not alone. And I thank God for this school district and whoever is part of it. So I just wanted to express that from my personal life. Some of you may be here very different, but I'm very thankful to live in a school district that I see the change in our children, how beautiful our school looks. So thank you, all of you. God bless.
Thank you, Pastor.
We'll say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor
On
the
the
Texas
Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. All right, we have quite a few recognitions, so we'll just kick that right off, Miss Wendy.
We are going to go campus by campus for our Teacher of the Year, New Teacher of the Year, and Instructional Aides of the Year, and we will start with the high school.
I'd like to have Mr. Leday and Mrs. Guthrie join me up front, please. Okay, a couple words about each of them. So Lauren Guthrie was named our Teacher of the Year at Columbia High School. She's being recognized for her outstanding commitment to students, instructional excellence, and her positive impact on the campus. Coach Guthrie currently teaches English 4 at Columbia High School, where she works with seniors as they prepare for graduation and the transition beyond high school. In this role, she supports students in refining critical reading, writing, and communication skills, while also fostering confidence, independence, and readiness for post-secondary success. Her classroom is known for its focus on engagement, rigor, and meaningful connection in students' lives and future goals, which is hard to do with some of our seniors. What makes her recognition especially notable is her professional journey within Columbia High School. Before teaching English, she was in the PE classroom, so she was physical education and coaching softball. But she made a successful transition into the English department, demonstrating both versatility and a strong commitment to growth as an educator. This shift highlights her ability to adapt instructional practices across disciplines while continuing to build strong relationships with students in a new academic setting. Colleagues and students alike recognize her for bringing energy, encouragement, and high expectations into the classroom. Her teaching approach emphasizes student voice, active learning, and creating an environment where learners feel supported and challenged. These qualities reflect the core values often associated with Teacher of the Year honorees, including leadership, collaboration, and dedication to student success. At Columbia High School, part of the Columbia-Brazoria ISD Independent School District, Coach Guthrie's recognition as Teacher of the Year underscores the impact that passionate educators have on shaping school culture and student achievement. Her work in the English department continues to support seniors as they complete their high school journey with skills and confidence needed for what comes next. Congratulations, well earned. Brad Leday has been named Instructional Aide of the Year at Columbia High School, and he is being recognized for his exceptional flexibility, dedication, and steady support of both students and staff across campus. Coach Leday currently serves as an inclusion support role within the math department and SPED department at Columbia High School, where he works closely with teachers to ensure students with diverse learning needs are fully supported in the general education classroom. His day-to-day responsibilities include assisting with instructional delivery, reinforcing math concepts in small group and one-on-one settings, and helping students stay engaged and confident as they work through rigorous coursework. A defining strength of Coach Leday's is his willingness to adapt to the needs of the campus at any moment. Whether stepping into a different classroom, supporting unexpected coverage needs, or adjusting his schedule to assist where he is most needed, he consistently demonstrates a whatever it takes mindset that benefits both students and staff. His presence provides stability and continuity in learning environments, particularly in fast-paced or high-need situations. In addition to his current role, Coach Leday is actively participating in our apprenticeship program as he works towards becoming a certified teacher. This commitment reflects his long-term dedication to education and his desire to expand his impact in the classroom. By combining hands-on experience with professional preparation, he is building a strong foundation for future success as a lead educator. We all value his ability, his reliability, his positive attitude, and readiness to step in without hesitation. His contributions go beyond assigned duties and often strengthening team effectiveness and ensuring that students receive consistent support throughout the day. Well earned, congratulations.
Hold on, I had it on video. Okay, ready? Oh, look, I didn't even get your toes in it, right?
Perfect. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Okay, next up will be West Brazos Junior High.
Right. So, noble calling to serve his country and joined the United States Marines in the 15th Marine Expeditionary Unit, where he dedicated 8 years of his life. During that time, he deployed twice to Iraq for Operation Iraqi Freedom, demonstrating courage and commitment in the most challenging circumstances. In his own words, "When I returned from deployment, I wanted to give back to the community in a different capacity." So he began substituting at West Brazos Junior High while completing his bachelor's degree and alternate certification. That decision changed countless lives, including those of the... I interviewed a couple of students and I asked them, "Why do you think Coach Frederick is our Teacher of the Year?" A student, Morgan Tumlinson, shared, "Coach Frederick is supportive and he knows all of his students very well. He knows what they need and when they need it. So we can all learn to the best of our abilities, and it really helps us." Another 8th grader, Coy Miller, shared, Coach Frederick is Teacher of the Year because he helps me think differently, and he has changed the way I work out problems, and it has really helped me this year. He's very supportive." These words reveal a teacher who doesn't just deliver content. He transforms how students think, builds their confidence, and meets them exactly where they are. Coach Frederick was voted Teacher of the Year by his colleagues and peers, the people who witness his dedication daily. Through the Blue Bonnet Learning Curriculum and LASSO grant this year, we worked closely with Grapevines to support our administration and teachers in coachability, receiving feedback, and adjusting for implementation, and maintaining a positive attitude that led the math department through vocabulary, internalization, pacing, collaboration, productive struggle. Ms. Burton didn't just learn these buzzwords, she lived them. She spends extra preparation time ensuring she understands each lesson inside and out, then adapts them so her students are engaged and actually learning, not just surviving math class. When we suggest something, collaborative groups, a data wall to bring numbers to life, working the classroom from every angle, she doesn't just nod politely, she implements it, refines it, and makes it work. Her coachability is off the charts, and her genuine desire to grow as an educator is inspiring to us all. But here's what really sets Ms. Burton apart. She builds incredible relationships with her students and has a great sense of humor. Math can be intimidating, but Ms. Burton makes it approachable, even fun. In 1 year, she's learned a new curriculum, implemented it with excellence, worked as a collaborative team player, and impacted young lives in ways we'll never fully measure. Please join me in congratulating Ms. Burton, proof of great teachers. All right, and then we have Miss Macy Sanders, our instructional aide of the year. So she kind of made a transition from the gym to the classroom. So I want to tell you about Macy Sanders, whose 3-year journey at West Brazos Junior High is a masterclass in determination, growth, and answering the call to teach. Macy started with us as a paraprofessional and coach, working in the gym and supporting our students wherever they needed. But somewhere along the way, she realized she wasn't just helping teachers. She wanted to be one. So she took advantage of our Columbia Brazoria ISD internship program and applied, ready to do the hard work of becoming a teacher. So throughout this internship, Macy became our go-to person. Need someone to cover a class? Macy was there with a pleasant attitude and willingness to jump in. She didn't just show up, she really showed up, ready to learn, ready to serve, and ready to prove she belonged in the classroom. One example of Macy jumping in was when we began the blitz time for our STAR prep last year, and she had a group. She embraced math after she said, "Math? You want me to do math? Yes, Macy, you've got this. Just do it. Believe in yourself." So she embraced it in each lesson. By testing time, Macy shared how much confidence she had built in her teaching and how much she enjoyed helping the students with math concepts. "I never saw myself as a math teacher," she said, "but I think I could do it." This confidence building in herself was something truly remarkable to watch grow. By this year, Macy had reached the 4th and final step of our internship, and we paired her with Ms. Schulke in 6th grade reading. It was the perfect match. Macy hit the ground running, absorbing everything she could from Ms. Schulke and implementing it with her last period class each day. This slow release of responsibility allowed her to practice, perform, and build her capacity as a strong teacher daily, learning in real time and growing with every lesson. Around Christmas, something clicked with Macy, and she came in and talked to me, and she decided that teaching wasn't just a career option. It was truly her calling. From that moment, she shifted into fast-forward mode. She powered through coursework, completed modules, and will soon be fully certified, all while building meaningful relationships with students, parents, coaches, and athletes. Her grit, resilience, and perseverance has been nothing short of inspiring. Macy didn't just decide to become a teacher. She became one through sheer determination and heart. And I have all the confidence that Macy will soon be a very successful teacher. And honestly, she already is. Congratulations, Macy. Well done, guys. Congratulations.
All right, next up will be West Columbia Elementary.
Okie dokie. Good evening, members of the board, superintendent, and guests. It is my honor first to recognize West Columbia Elementary School's Instructional Aide of the Year, Miss Marissa Montejano. Although this is Mrs. Montejano's very first year in education as a paraprofessional and instructional aide, she has already made quite an incredible impact on our students and staff at WCE. She graduated from Texas State University in 2013 with a degree in public relations and a minor in business administration. And while serving our students this year as an instructional aide, Ms. Montejano has also balanced managing and operating her own small business of 11 years, working as a real estate broker, and raising her 4.5-year-old son. In the midst of all those responsibilities, she has also worked tirelessly to earn her teaching certification this year. Her dedication, perseverance, and commitment to personal and professional growth have been truly inspiring. From the very beginning, Mrs. Montejano has brought energy, positivity, and a tremendous work ethic to our campus. Our students have benefited greatly from her care, encouragement, and dedication, and she has quickly become a very valued member of the WCE family. We are incredibly proud of all that she has accomplished in her very first year of education, and we're excited for the impact she will continue to make in the years ahead. We are especially excited that next year, we hope after tonight, that she will be joining our teaching staff as a 5th grade math teacher at West Columbia Elementary School. So Mrs. Montejano, thank you for choosing education and already making such a difference at WCE. We're very proud to honor you as our instructional aide. Now it is my honor tonight to recognize West Columbia Elementary School's new Teacher of the Year, Mrs. Cassidy Irwin. Ms. Irwin is a proud graduate of Columbia High School and earned her degree in interdisciplinary studies, E/6 from Sam Houston State University. Her journey in education began right here at West Columbia Elementary School in 2022, where she served as a paraprofessional, also while pursuing her teacher certification. She officially became a classroom teacher this past year in 2025. She became a teacher because she wanted to make a lasting difference in the lives of children. She believes education is about more than academics. It is about building confidence, kindness, perseverance, and a love of learning. That belief is reflected in the caring relationships that she builds with the students and the positive classroom environment that she creates each and every day. Even in a very short amount of time, Ms. Irwin has already made a tremendous impact on our campus. Her compassion, patience, man, she's got patience, and dedication to student success are evident in everything that she does, and our students are better because of her influence. Ms. Irwin, thank you for your heart that you pour into our students and for the difference that you're making at WCE. We appreciate you. And last but not least, it is my honor to recognize West Columbia Elementary School Teacher of the Year, Ms. Rebecca Williams. Ms. Williams holds a bachelor degree in business marketing and later earned her EC/4 teaching certification, beginning what has become a remarkable 25 years in education. Over those years, she has taught 1st grade, 2nd grade, and 3rd grade, impacting countless students and families along the way. What makes Ms. Williams such an exceptional educator is her belief that his teaching is more than about simply giving the students the answers. Whew, this is really important. She works to help children think for themselves, problem solve, and grow into confident learners. She builds strong relationships with her students, and she creates a classroom environment where children feel encouraged, supported, and motivated to succeed. Ms. Williams teaches both heart and purpose, and her years of experience are evident in the meaningful connections that she makes with the students each and every day. Her dedication, wisdom, and commitment to helping children grow academically and personally have made a lasting impact on our campus and our community. Ms. Williams, thank you for the difference that you have made in the students and the staff in the lives at West Columbia Elementary School. Ms. Howard. Oh, no. I know. Yeah.
All right, Barrow Elementary.
I'm gonna go this way. You go stand at that. You're the star of the show tonight. Next, we have our Barrow Elementary Teacher of the Year, Miss Mandy Rowe, our behavior specialist at BE. Mandy is the definition of see a need, meet a need. She provides a calm, steady constant for our campus, our students, and our teachers in every situation, no matter how difficult. I have truly never seen her lose her cool. She shows up every single day ready to advocate for kids, support staff, and do whatever is needed to help students succeed. The students Mandy works with daily are not your typical students. These are some of our highest needs, many of whom are academically performing above grade level and even outperforming their peers by a long shot. But they struggle with emotional regulation, whether it be due to trauma, mental health challenges, or other significant needs. Mandy always sees past the behavior. She builds relationships, she creates trust with families, and makes sure both students and parents know they have someone firmly in their corner. As someone who used to do this work myself, I know firsthand how challenging it can be, and I appreciate Mandy more than she probably realizes. She is deeply committed to helping students succeed while also giving teachers the support they need to navigate difficult situations. The reality is, without educators like Mandy, inclusion doesn't happen successfully. She bridges the gap between supporting students and supporting staff, and she does it all with patience, consistency, and grace. The work Mandy does every single day is draining, mentally and emotionally exhausting in ways most people will never fully understand, but she continues to show up for kids with patience, compassion, and consistency, even on the hardest days. I truly hope she knows just how much she means to all of us at Barrow Elementary. Her impact at BE goes far beyond what can be measured on paper. She changes the trajectory of lives simply by showing up, staying steady, and refusing to give up on them. We are beyond grateful for her and so proud to recognize her as Barrow Elementary's Teacher of the Year. All right, and the next one is super special. Unfortunately, only one of them could be here, but Barrow Elementary was very proud to have 2 instructional aides of the year this year. One being Christine Bounds. And Cynthia Hopwood could not be here tonight. There you go. When it came time for staff to vote this year, these 2 ladies received the exact same number of votes. And given the circumstances of the school year, there was no way I was going to be the deciding vote. They are both more than deserving of this recognition. For years, they have been the instructional assistants in our life skills classroom. They have truly seen it all, handled it all, and continued to show up for kids through every challenge that comes with this work. But this year especially asked more of them than most people will ever realize. Since November, these 2 women have carried the majority of the responsibility in our life skills classroom. They stepped up without hesitation and continued providing consistency, structure, love, and care to some of our highest need students during an incredibly difficult season. The work they do is physically demanding, emotionally exhausting, and often goes unseen by those outside of education, but they never stop showing up for kids. They have built strong relationships with students and families, celebrated progress that others may overlook, and handled hard moments with patience, compassion, and grace. The students know that they are loved, safe, and cared for because of the environment these ladies create every single day. Quite honestly, Barrow Elementary would not have made it through this school year without them. Their resilience, dedication, and heart for kids are unmatched, and we are so proud to recognize them both as our Instructional Assistants of the Year. I'm gonna go in the middle. Okay, bring it in.
All right, last but not least, Wild Peach Elementary.
All right, so we are going to start with our Paraprofessional of the Year, Miss Michelle Perales. So Ms. Perales joined us last year, and to give you a little background, by campus we have Head Start on our campus. Ms. Perales actually joined us after the school year started last year as a Head Start employee, but when she got started, she jumped in, did everything that was asked of her, plus
some. Worked hard to help the other Head Start teachers that were in the classrooms, but her work ethic was phenomenal that when the position came open at my school, I asked her if she would be interested in joining CBISD, and she accepted. So she has stepped into a pre-K classroom this year, and she is in our apprenticeship program. So she has stepped into our pre-K classroom and taken charge. She has a love for each student in her classroom and strives to ensure they are all successful. Now, some days I'm sure she leaves exhausted, mentally and physically, but you would never be able to tell because she starts every day fresh, and her dedication to the students each and every day is just something that we all wish we could do, just come with a smile every single day. So Ms. Perales, thank you for all your hard work this year. Like Ms. Galloway did. All right, next we have Miss Tiffany Cullums. Miss Tiffany Cullums is our new Teacher of the Year. So Ms. Cullums kind of joined us the same way, but she started at Wild Peach Elementary as a long-term sub last school year. She jumped into that role as a long-term sub and quickly made that classroom her own, buying things the students needed, incentives, and just decorating it to what we call Pinterest classrooms. It was beautiful. When the opportunity came for me to hire her for that kindergarten position, I quickly jumped on that, and she accepted, and it's just worked out beautifully. She is currently a kindergarten teacher, and she is always a calming presence and strives to be the best each day. She has brought a new and fresh perspective to the kindergarten team and comes with ideas that are very out of the box, but it's just a joy, and the kids absolutely love every single day. And her kids come, and I'm going to tell you one of the biggest things, and this is not a bad thing. When I tell you she is calm all the time, I've never heard her raise her voice, ever, to the point where we try to coach her to use her teacher voice. And she has I call it Britney Spears microphone, in a little box because I don't think she's capable of raising her voice more than what I have. And it's absolutely perfect. The kids know when she talks into that they listen, and they just have a respect for her that is just amazing, and you can't mirror anywhere. So Ms. Cullums, thank you for all the hard work you've done this year and last year, and just stepping into a role that was just meant for you. So thank you. All right. Last we have Miss Bridges. Miss Bridges is our Wild Peach Elementary Teacher of the Year. All right, so Miss Bridges, what do you say about a lady whose work often goes under the radar? Miss Bridges is our ECSE teacher and works with many of our medically fragile students. She advocates for all the students in her care. She is a calming presence in any situation, but when she talks, you better listen because she doesn't speak up often. She has filled many roles this year and has done so with such grace. She has taken on being the case manager for many students, and through all of this, she has stayed on top of due dates and paperwork and making sure her paperwork was on point. Because of her hard work and the dedication she has for her job and for her students, she will be filling a campus level SPED role and will be helping train other teachers at our school next year. So Ms. Bridges, thank you for everything you do. Thank you for being a calming presence for not just your students, but the staff too, and just everything you bring to each and every day. So thank you.
Teacher of the Year.
And so I want to tell you that these ladies, if I ask them to do anything, no matter how late of a notice it is, they will step in and they will do whatever is asked. If I ask them to jump, they will ask Ms. Cohey, how high do you want us to jump? But they will do it at any time. So thank you all.
All right, friends and family, staff, thank y'all for being here. It was a pleasure to see our best and brightest. The family that came out and support, we appreciate it. Good to see some of you as well that I know personally. It's fantastic. But this is the time. If you don't want to stay for the whole meeting, this is the perfect time for you to say thank you and goodbye.
Congratulations, everybody.
Well, you can take me with you. You'll need someone to drive you home.
Nice to see you.
Hi, y'all.
Excuse me, right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
That's why I stood up.
Hello, how are you, sir? Good to see you.
Thank you.
Pastor, did you bring your family?
Sir?
Did you bring your family?
All of them. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, you ready?
First, I'm gonna go ahead and say thank you to Cody because I just sent this to him at 6 p.m. when we started the meeting, and here it is. So thank you, Cody, for all that you do in accommodating us when we don't take care of what we need to take care of. We appreciate you. I just want to highlight our ST Math night. ST Math came out and had a game night for our students last Thursday, and even though it was the end of the school year, we still had several families show up to come eat some pizza, play some games, and enjoy some time with their family. And that is our very own Lainey Irwin in the Gigi suit. So just another example of going above and beyond right there. So. Our fifth graders spent time, since STAR is over, they've been doing things that are not your typical classroom things. They created the solution together and then made bubbles. And they really wanted me to showcase these bubbles for you guys. So those are our fifth graders having some fun. Uh-oh. It's okay, it's probably a glitch because I didn't do what I needed to do. Those are just track meet pictures. They put on the track meet last Friday. It is always loads of fun. So much fun to see all the students get so competitive, but also cheer each other on and be good sports at the same time. I don't even know how many years we've been doing this, but I have never once heard another student boo another, or even get out of character or anything of that nature. Our students are learning to be competitive, but also have good sportsmanship, and that is something that I am very grateful for. Then we had our senior walk. Thank you, Mr. Kenny, for being on the ball, telling us to be ready and getting there right when you said you were. We appreciate that. These are all of the seniors that attended Barrow Elementary graduating this year, so I just wanted to give them a shout out. We love to have them come back through the halls, take pictures with their teachers, so it was a special moment. And then today we had our very own Walk the Hall for our fifth graders at Barrow Elementary. They are leaving us to go to West Brazos Junior High. And I was just telling Miss Losario, this is one of my favorite group of kids, and I probably should never say favorite, but I will for them. They are so wonderful, so resilient, so accepting. You will never meet another group of kids that just get along with everybody. One who reads books on the weekends hangs out with one who plays football every weekend, and you would never know because they embrace each other's differences. But this is a wonderful group of kids, and I'm so excited to see all that they do in CBISD.
So this was our BC signing day. So in context, there were 225 students that applied for positions that from 8 different schools. We had 26 CBISD students apply. Out of the 225 students that applied, there were only 37 offers. Of those 37 offers, 7 of them were from Columbia High School. So we had the most that were offered and accepted positions from BCPC. So that is our 7 students up there. I just wanted to brag on them a little bit and the success that they had at a time where they're not hiring, but they did find a way to hire 7 of our graduates. So we're very proud of them. This is our cord recipients. We did a cord ceremony at school on Friday, and I'll get some information on that later, but I wanted to share those pictures. We have 12 different organizations that we highlighted that day. In the bottom left hand, the theater arts and NSDA is put together. That's why you don't see 12 separate ones, but they are 12 separate organizations that we were able to honor that day. And so I'll give you a little bit of information about that later, but I wanted to share the picture with all the students that received cords that day. And then we just wanted to highlight our top 10 graduating Thursday under beautiful weather, blue skies. Saying prayers for that. But we're very proud of this class of 2026, and we wanted to highlight the top 10.
All right, all things end of year are happening at West Brazos Junior High. It's like I keep saying it's like the last 5 miles of a marathon. You can see it, but you just can't get there yet. And so we're finishing all the things. We had the percussion concert that we got to add in with the high school. The percussion concert is a huge hit. There's so much fun to get to see them, and they get an opportunity to perform with the high school as well. So that's always a good time. We had the choir concert, which was also a joint venture with the high school, and our students had a great showcase and turnout for choir this year. End of year student council. These are our student council leaders. Just to share some awards with you guys for student council. We received the DASH Award, Drugs, Alcohol, Safety, and Health Award, the Pride and Patriotism Award, Energy and Environment Award, Community Service Award, Outstanding Student Council, and Sweepstakes, which is only 246 schools that get this award, and that's high school and junior highs combined, and we were one of the ones that received this. So really proud of our student council and the work that they have done. We had NJHS inductions, and in the NJHS inductions, we had record numbers of students come out for NJHS this year. So we were really happy with our NJHS. We had Miss Lori Kincannon, the mayor of West Columbia, was our speaker, and you can see all of our inductees in the bottom. So a lot of work goes into that induction ceremony, but we're proud of our students going above and beyond. I also wanted to share with you guys really quickly the amount of service hours that were done with our NJHS members from last year. So last year we had 81 members, and they needed a minimum of 1,620 hours of community service. But this year they they worked for 2,509 hours, going above and beyond 880 hours for our community. So thought that was a really awesome thing. FFA had their end of year ceremony, a huge showing at the FFA ceremony. Lots of our students received awards, multiple shout outs, and it's just great to see them growing in leadership and stepping outside and doing all kinds of different things. So lots of faces in those pictures. End of year awards are well on their way. 6th and 7th grade were last night. So these are our students that go above and beyond and receive awards. And tomorrow you're all welcome for our bridging ceremony and 8th grade awards. 8th grade awards starts at 8:30. So then we'll go straight into our walk through the junior high and then send them off as an oath. They sign their certificate of completion at West Brazos Junior High and an oath of promise to go get the real diploma and real hat and gown, cap and gown at the high school. So just letting them know that we appreciate them and we are celebrating them. Mental health matters. We had Miss Delma Garza. She came and talked to our students in the cafeteria. She brings these picture props, and our students are more than happy to take pictures. And she came this year and talked about how you are not alone and gave our students the different avenues and pathways for who to call when they are feeling lonely or overwhelmed. And it was really good. She talked to every one of our students through the lunches.
All right, West Columbia Elementary School. We're going to share some of the things that have been happening at our school as well. First, we were excited that our life skills students got to go to the junior high and join their class for their field trip with Crocodile Encounter. You can see some very happy faces from that field trip. Our next slide is highlighting our career days that we had this year. Miss Holly and Miss Adame worked really hard together to bring in some great speakers. So, of course, we had the constable. On this next slide, you can see Mr. Head, who is a cattle rancher, brought some of his longhorns. The kids loved that. They learned all kinds of things about maybe even how to tell the difference between a male cow and a female cow. Miss Rayleigh, our PE teacher, loved that lesson, loved watching him teach that lesson. That was her favorite part of the whole day. And on the next slide, you can see we also had the fire department. But my personal favorite was a mechanical engineer who is the sister of my 5th grade science teacher who works at NASA and helped develop the NASA suits for the latest Artemis expedition. So we were super excited to have her and share all the things that she has contributed to our space exploration. And on the next slide, I was excited to see that we actually still have some learning going on at West Columbia Elementary School, even in these last few days, where our 5th graders were using straws, marshmallows, and big ideas and being engineers for the day to build bridges inspired by the Transcontinental Railroad. So they got to have their own bridge building experiences there. And then, of course, some of the fun stuff have to celebrate our Mother's Makeover, Mommy Makeover Day, when our kindergarten students get to get their mothers and do makeovers with them. It's one of the cutest things ever. Had to share some of those smiles. And then last but not least, we too had a wonderful time at our track meet that we had last week. It was a great time had by all, great sportsmanship, and really proud of the students, the way they worked really hard and prepared. It was a great insight into who might be our future athletes as well in secondary campus. So it's always fun to see who shines. That's it. Thank you.
Very good.
All right, so there have been a lot of fun things happening at Wild Peach. One of the biggest things we did is this, we'll get to those pictures in a minute. We just finished our color run. Our color run was something pretty special because instead of going out to find a company to come in and do the run for us, our PTO, we collaborated and we put the event on ourselves. Because it was such a big success, we were able to buy inflatables, or not buy, rent inflatables on 3 separate days for all of the students to enjoy. So this is just a glimpse of some of our students in our structured learning class that are enjoying the inflatable bounce house fun. So I love these pictures. At our silent auction that we host each year, I always offer opportunity for someone to bid on principal for the day. And so Mr. Wilson won principal for the day. When they come for principal of the day, I always try to have a badge, a lanyard for them with the badge. Their picture, you can barely see it on the picture on the left, and they shadow me throughout the day. And so since he's in pre-K, I didn't give him the notepad and the clipboard like I did the student in the past, but they go, if I have to go give a student a break, they walk with me, and if it's acceptable for them to be with me while I'm giving the break to a student who may need it, they stay with me. They help deliver things, the picture on the right, they help deliver things to classrooms that maybe like I make things that I need to take to teachers. It's just a fun day. Yesterday, the principal for the day said that his feet hurt, so he took off his shoes and was walking between my office and the assistant principal's office with the shoes off. And then, hey, it's time to go. Let's go get your shoes on. And he put them on, and we moved. Yesterday was also a special day because it was our prom day that we have at Wild Peach. And so he got to attend prom with me for all the grade levels. However, if you can see in the middle picture, with all the noise and all the dancing and the cookies, he fell asleep. So our principal for the day decided it was best time to take a nap, so he slept through 2 of the proms and middle of all the fun. So that is him. It's an exhausting job. Clearly.
Ms. Coe, he also got to sit in a superintendent's meeting, didn't he?
He did. He got to sit in. Mr. Galloway came and he sat in the meeting with me. He did really well because I would tell him, like, you've got to sit quiet. And so he would sit quiet. He would play with a few things, but he managed himself very well all day. Someone did ask him if they could have the day off. Can I leave early? And I taught him to say, and do his hand like this, absolutely not. So later in the afternoon, someone else came and asked him, you're the principal, can I go home? And he did it. Absolutely not. And so it was fun. So leading up to our, this is not color run. The picture in the right is a picture of the one of the pictures of the color run. I think there are some on the next slide, but The students for the color run, every student received a white t-shirt and every student received a pair of sunglasses to wear during the color run, and they got to keep them afterwards. It was a blast. I did not include a picture in here, but color run day happened to be the day of my TA door audit, or my door audit. And on that day, students who earned, yes, Miller got to see it. Students who raised so much were able to slime the principal. So I had my hair up, my white shirt on, shorts that day, old tennis shoes, and I went to meet the guy for the door audit with slime. So it was a great day. The other pictures are pictures from our, just things leading up to that. Field and Splash Day are the two middles. The fire department came and hosed all the kids down, and they stayed the entire day and went back to fill the truck and then would come back, and it's just a blast. Mental health matters. Even for our littlest students, we talk about what it means, what mental health means. We talk about how you feel and what you think is how we present it to them at this point. But during some of these, they came during prom, and so this is just a little bit of what the students did for mental health matters. Taking the picture, and this prom pictures. You have our teachers dancing. Mr. Raymond, of course, is up dancing. Some of the kids in dresses. If you see, like, our kids come dressed up. They come in some of the most beautiful dresses and suits and ties, clearly, because you saw our principal for the day. But this student is he is normally really quiet, the student on the right, and he is just getting down.
That's always fun to see what y'all are doing. We appreciate it, the time you put into it. Do we have any citizens to be heard? Okay. We'll go to our reports. Public hearing on all federal grants for 26-27.
Miller, are you taking the lead?
Yeah, I got it. I can do it. All right, so in your folder, you'll see what I'm going to be using to go over these talking points. It says 25-26 public meeting at the top, federal grants. So what we're talking about today are the programs that we receive federal funds for, and how we're required to have this meeting to tell you how we spend those funds, and how those funds are spent to benefit our students and stakeholders in CBISD. So we'll start with, and if you have any questions, myself, Jennifer, Ms. Fowler, and Ms. Kelly are here to answer questions, as we all have different responsibility over different programs. So starting with ESSA, Every Student Succeeds Act, the purpose of this grant is to ensure quality education for all students. The CBISD uses these funds for instructional coaches, online programs to teach English for our ESL students or bilingual students, our teacher mentoring program, support well-rounded education, family and parent engagement, and ongoing professional development. The Individuals with Disabilities Act, or as you sometimes hear us refer to it as IDEA. The purpose of the funding for this grant is to make available a free and appropriate public education to children with disabilities. We use these funds, or CBISD uses these funds for teachers and paraprofessionals to support in-class instruction for students with disabilities, and to contract with related services and assessment providers for services as well. The Children's Internet Protection Act, or the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, you'll sometimes hear it called CIPA or COPA. Josh Grimes, this is more of a technology. They're over this. The purpose of this is protect children from inappropriate material on the internet. And our policy and what we use these funds for are web filtering, limit personal access while they're at school, monitor usage, limit email capabilities of students that are under 13. And lastly, the one that's near and dear to me is the Carl Perkins Career and Technology Grant, or the Perkins Grant. And that we use this, the purpose of this is to expand opportunities to students to explore, choose, and follow career and technical education programs of study and career pathways, which we have many of in CBISD. And we use those funds for, of course, for teachers and courses, equipment, and supplies and other things of that nature. So that is just an overview of our federal grants and how we use the funds from these grants to provide services for our students.
Is that a set amount every year, or is it?
It depends. It depends. So, for example, for Perkins, it's usually anywhere between $32,000 and $38,000 a year, and then we usually will get a reallocation in December. So usually we do. It's $2,000 or $3,000. And I know y'all can speak on y'all's grants.
IDEA, we usually get around $600,000. Title IV is somewhere around 35, and Title III is somewhere around 23,000.
Title I's about 450,000 and Title II is around 90,000.
Anybody else have any questions? All right, thank you, Mr. Miller.
Yes, ma'am.
Maintenance report.
All right, so Justin, keep in mind, his maintenance report is going to go along with action item number 4, which is the district roofing project consideration. So just want to, Cody, if he'll bring that attachment up from action item.
Yeah, really
Number
no
4.
maintenance report other than to preface that action item with this. So several meetings back, we came to you guys with a budgetary number for some remaining roofing projects. We came in at budget numbers at that point were I think 5.1 million. So y'all gave me the green light to go out and get numbers together, fine tune this. And what we did is we reached out, we did bid packages. We've had about 10 different contractors come in, give their bids and evaluations on this. And what we've done is we've taken this, we had several different options. 20-year warranty versus 30-year warranty. Here's everybody's base bids. And so up here in this corner, the evaluation, essentially, if we went with a single contractor, total bid, which would be this 4.2. We looked at it also with what if we split this up? Is there any advantage, disadvantages? What we decided is we came in and we gave Columbia High School project to advantage as listed. We come in and give Barrow Elementary to Walton, which is not listed, and I'll get to that in a second. And then, of course, Wild Peach to this Jones. We came at 4.182. The advantage of that is you have 3 different contractors that can run these jobs simultaneously. Whereas if we back to back them, they've got to finish one to lead into the other. So the difference between running those 3 simultaneously versus the cheapest advantage by splitting it up all 3 ways is a difference of $9,100. So personally, I feel it's advantageous to spend that extra $9,100, have all 3 jobs running concurrently or simultaneously. Substantial completion date would be right around the time school starts. Lead time of once we were given the approval, contract date, these guys can start rolling, they can start having boots on the ground within 2 to 3 weeks. I know there's a lot to digest and unpack. There are all the different options in there to kind of split this up different ways, but I'm just giving you the overall, the best bang for our buck with that. And so personally recommending advantage to have the high school, Walton to have Barrow Elementary, and Jones for WPE at a 1.81 price tag. The only other thing to that is this very last item, alternate number 5. When we just did the new high school, all of that new section, we did not put on that Garla Bright reflective coating. It just wasn't in the bid package. So we did have that as an option to come in and have that coated just to give it a little bit more longevity and less opportunities for breakdowns and reflect the heat and the radiation. And Mr. Walton came in there at an additional $151,000 to have that coated. They can do that around the same time they're finishing this other project. So that's pretty much the maintenance report. I do want to, so James, which you've met before, he had an obligation with his daughter at a softball banquet. So in his place is Mr. Blake DSD. So he's here to answer any questions from on the manufacturing end. So I just want to let you know he's here. Like I said, a lot to digest.
So, the business department has worked to identify, as you know, we talked about, I gave you an amount earlier, the amount we have that we think is gonna be still available is gonna be around 3.7 number, as we've gotten closer, Dramala, PBK, we've had some third-party agreements that the bill had, I mean, they're a year and a half old, the bill hadn't been sent, now they have. The Ag Barn project, we've had a couple of extra expenses due to permitting issues, a drive and handicap and things like that that we've had to address, which we want to address, but it's increased that number a little bit. So Justin's bringing in what, basically a 4.2 number, and remaining bond funds should be right at 3.7. So you're close.
After the 4.2 or before the 4.2? What are you saying now?
3.7 to put towards the 4.2.
Oh, 3.7.
From the bond.
From the bond to put towards the 4.2. Right.
But we think it will be finished by the end of the summer?
Substantial completion is right there. So, depending on weather, which, you know, we ran into that last year. With those projects, then pretty much the entire month of June, we were getting a lot of rain, and that was a serious
So
setback.
you and I had talked, I had to ask you a question about startup. If it's approved tonight, what are we thinking the startup?
2 to 3 weeks to have boots on the ground.
So long story short, we could get, if we approve it tonight, we could get we could get substantial before hurricane season, right? We wouldn't have anything tore out there when we get there.
And all these contractors are ready to go and can start for the summer? Anybody have any questions, more questions?
Just like the previous one, we're just going right on top of the existing roofs.
Right. With the exception of one small section at Wild Beach, and it's just because it's a wooden structure, there's not enough engineering to say that they could support the weight of the addition. So that one small section in that front annex building will be taken down and a different application. But all the rest of them would, just like what we've done on the last 2 projects, a recover.
And so we didn't do the 151,000 coating on the high school?
The addition of the high school.
But is it included in these numbers?
Yeah.
That going forward?
This would be an add-on option to recover that. Outside it, less this, everything else gets taken care of. The new stuff does get coated.
Okay, that's the question. Okay.
So it would be the 4.2.
We'll have to come back later and add that, or,
Right. It would be the 4.2 plus this 151.
yeah, to retro, yeah.
Correct. It's not a requirement, but it is a recommendation.
This is not a prorated for the next 10 years on the 20 to 30?
Say that again?
That prorated warranty is a actual warranty?
Correct, right?
Correct. Okay.
Did that Advantage USAA, did they not bid on the alternative or the CHS new construction coating?
They did, just they were in at a higher price.
Okay.
They were in there, and I apologize, I'm having a hard time admitting I need glasses. I'm not as young as I thought I was.
I just didn't see it, that's why I was asking.
It's in here. And scroll down a little bit. Alternate number 5. So Advantage, they are, yeah, they were 381.
Oh.
Means that we would have Advantage on this, I apologize, I'm stammering. Means that we would have Walton on another job. We could take advantage of their mobilization and get it for that 150.
Okay.
Again, the recommendation is not so much what you have up here. It is, I want to make it clear, the high school would go to Advantage, Barrow would go to Walton, and Wild Peach would go to Jones.
So the extra funds outside of the 3.7, do we have something to roll into that to our new budget?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you would be assuming it would come out of fund balance. But, I mean, you're talking about the use of fund balance money for a 30-year roof. That's, now, this project will probably not be completed until, we're talking July, we're in the next budget season.
Yeah.
Remember, you've got, last year we thought we were gonna have a loss, we didn't. This year, the Julia report how we're looking good. We've got disaster penny money. We're in a really good position. I mean, money's not the issue to put towards it. It's kind of what I guess I'm saying.
Do you have a question, Jana?
I was just gonna, Julie, are we to that yet? How do you feel?
No, I was
I
there
mean-
when they opened it, and I agreed with having it done simultaneously.
Okay.
That was extra just to get them out of here. And I'll report when we do the financials, we will have money going in fund
Okay.
balance this year.
That's what I
So
wanted
it's
to
not
know.
like it would,
Do you think that our insurance may go down for these new roofs?
well, it won't go down this year.
Right.
But next year, they were talking about rates are continuing to decrease because we didn't have a hurricane anywhere in the US last year, so. I mean,
Imagine with new
it
roofs.
just depends if we don't have any this year. But they are saying it's softening and it's getting cheaper.
With that said, I'm glad you brought that up because this is not set in stone yet. I'm working on it, but there is potential for some incentive rebate monies coming back as a roofing upgrade. We're right now trying to find out if that qualifies. It may or may not, but if it does qualify, I'm thinking maybe another 150 coming back. So that helps to offset that. Now, don't know that's gonna happen yet. We're still in the qualification stage, finding out if it actually does or does not. So we'll know that sometime in the near future, but nonetheless, that won't have any bearing on the job itself.
Anybody else have a question? All right, thank you.
Thank y'all.
All right, safety and security report.
But before, is it okay, I mean, if you're not gonna address the budget item next year, is it okay if they leave? Y'all okay? Yeah. There won't be any other questions? Okay.
All right, safety and security report. I got two rather lengthy reports to give you, so I'm going to try to do this as quickly as I can, but still get the point of the reports to you. So the first report we have is the West Columbia Elementary Safety Audit Report for cycle 23-26. This is just like the three previous ones I've given you the past 3 months. We'll have one more left. We'll do Wild Peach next month. So real quickly, I'm just gonna go through the highlights. So if this file has been attached, I believe it's about 120 something pages into board book. And we're just gonna go over the highlights. So we did this, the safety and security audit of West Columbia Elementary and CBISD. We did this April 1st through April 30th by the members that were listed on the front cover page. Some things that we looked at, the intruder assessment. The intruder assessment was held October 1st, 2025 by Adam Tanner from Region 4 ESC, and the results were no findings. We had an entrance conference on May 1st, 2026, just to summarize all the things we've talked about. And here were the following responses. I always go over these every month, so I'll go over them again. When I asking the administrators and the people a part of the committee, what is the most pressing safety need at this facility? And their responses were, most pressing safety needs at WC include the following: security cameras in the bus line, security cameras on Gray Street, side of the car rider line, security cameras outside of front office, and badge readers at the Blue Hall and for the cafeteria, which are doors entering those sections of the building. What safety activities does this facility do best? Drills and preventive measures. They have go bags for reunifications and systems in place. They do an absolute fabulous job when it comes to completing drills. What safety topics are most important for training and staff development? Their response was differentiating lockdown, hold, and secure drills. Sometimes teachers get confused with the difference between the three of them. What safety activities do you feel need the most improvement? And they felt like situational awareness with possible scenarios, which comes up quite often because you do the same drills over and over again and you expect same results, but you never know the kinks that are going to get thrown in there, such as having a bomb threat at dismissal. Great situation. What are some barriers to improving safety and security at this facility? Amount of staff. It's a large campus. Elevates possible errors with modest amount of staffing. What types of problems are you most likely to encounter at this facility? Dysregulated parents and or students. What types of situations may cause students or staff members to be fearful at this facility? Dysregulated students and parent backlash. Missed an H there. What other positive comments or concerns do you have regarding safety and security at this facility? Procedures and systems are in place with preventative measures. Concerns or substitutes and new staff without initial training, which we haven't addressed that because all of our substitutes do go through security training that might be specific to the campus. That wasn't a question that was asked. Some documents that were reviewed. There's a significant list. We review at every single campus. They were found to have the majority of this. I don't believe WC did not have anything that was required. Their paperwork was pretty impeccable. Climate survey results, I have them listed there for you, as well as in the back of the packet. There's individual results for all the different surveys. I'm not going to go through all the responses, but if you look at the climate surveys results, parent survey, you had 61 responses. So the majority of those responses were favorable. There are some suggestions there that I was able to pick out. Some, I just picked out some. You can find the rest of them in the actual back. Staff survey, 32 responses, and the majority of those were favorable as well. So just so happened, this audit coincided with the DVA, which we'll be talking about next. So we were able to do our on-site observations along with the TEA representative for the DVA audit. So we kind of killed two birds with one stone and was able to knock out a lot of things. So at the end of the day, we get to some things that they feel are the most important. They tend to echo what we talked about in the entry conference. It says, in summary, based on recommendations, the audit team presents the prioritized list of recommendations for this facility. They believe security cameras, we do have some holes in some security cameras, places such as car rider line, student bus line, playgrounds, and staff parking lot. They think those are something that need to be corrected, or we think that's something that's a major thing that needs to be corrected. Badge readers at the following locations: Blue Hall Cafeteria. Well, everybody does have keys for those doors. However, in the event we need to get off the playgrounds or into the building, it works quicker with the badge readers. Check all doors weekly to make sure that returns and door hardware work properly. This is something that we discovered from the DVA audit, which I'll go over. All of our campuses do a great job of doing their weekly door checks, which they actually do. Most of them do daily, and the doors are locked. However, there was a little loophole in the law that we didn't know. A lot of those doors that are locked stay locked. They're never opened. Some of them don't have returns. Well, we don't know they have returns because they're never used. So that's where that came from. Review door numbering yearly, inside and outside. Something that I like to see is that if you look, for example, you look out this window, you'll see room numbers in all windows. Make sure those are visible from exterior windows. And this is something that I've asked everybody. Nobody has really been able to come up with it. Is develop campus safety committee that includes campus staff, parents, and student representatives to discuss safety issues. And finally, you'll see a list of the attached supporting items that we use to complete this audit. So, does anybody have any questions on West Columbia Elementary before we move on to the next big document? All right, district vulnerability assessment was completed by TEA. They came out on April 21st. It was actually scheduled for 2 days, but they were only here for one. Great things happen. It's always good when we have an audit because, as confident as we are in the things that we do right, we know that finding things wrong helps us get better. And we had some things that we were found to be doing wrong. However, when we had our conference with the lady from TA4, me and Mr. Galloway, she did make a compliment that to the district that said we were probably in the top 5% of districts that she's been to as far as having everything in place and staff knowing what they were supposed to be doing. So
the findings were not concerning.
Correct. And I'm going to get to the findings. So the findings, as I said earlier, one of the findings, let me find my cheat sheets here. So first of all, our best practices, all our paperwork was perfect. She's only had one other school that she's done, and she does these every year. It's had all of their safety paperwork completed, which made me feel good because I do all that stuff, and it does take a lot of time. So that is a positive. All of our policies, procedures, all those things, our training records, our regulations met the requirements, and there was no findings on any of those. First finding was what I was telling you about the doors. We had findings at every campuses on doors. All the doors were locked. However, some of them didn't have returns on them, like I said earlier. Some of them that when you did open them, they would close, but they didn't latch. Those have since had work orders put in, and they have been fixed. So that's when we talked about, instead of doing when you do your weekly door checks, instead of making sure they're locked, is actually opening them. They close, they latch, and you can have time. We're only supposed to do that twice a year before school starts and at the end of each semester, which we do. However, we do need to put procedures in place to make sure that's happening more often. Another big thing that we was found to have wrong was all primary entrances and classroom exterior doors capable of being used must be able to visually identify an individual seeking. So you'll notice a lot of our exterior doors, if they're not the glass doors, they do have the glass windows that you can see through. If they don't, there are some in this building. For example, there's 2 on the back, not counting the locker room doors. On this gym, I believe there was some basically on every campus that you cannot see out of, so we're required to put a peephole so that we can look out and identify if someone was knocking, who was there. Due to some different things and changes of rules, 4 years ago we did have all the doors and the windows filmed for shatter resistance film. Everybody remember that whole project? $230,000 worth of film. Because of the way the rules have changed, we have approximately 5 doors in the district that are going to need to be filmed. Specifically 3 doors at Wild Peach that are actually behind the gated in areas between the buildings. They've since changed that rule. Being behind the gated area doesn't count. If it's an exterior door and it's glass, it still needs to be filmed, as well as the windows that are adjacent to that. So we have a couple places that needs to be done. We did have a couple doors, one at West Brazos Junior High and one at West Columbia. They were exterior doors. They're never used, and they weren't keyed for re-entry. They were keyed, but you couldn't enter them, and we had a finding on that because if you're not going to use it for re-entry, it's not supposed to have a keyhole. So, roof access. All of our roof accesses on 3 campuses that we have roof accesses are behind closed doors. However, you're supposed to also have a padlock on them. Even though behind a locked door, I guess to keep people from getting on the roof and getting into the building. So that has since been fixed. Already gone over the windows. And then the only other thing dealt with campus maps. We do have campus maps. We do have numbers, but our numbering convention on 3 of the campus was wrong, meaning For example, the rule is you have to number the building in a clockwise motion, starting with the main entry as number 1. Well, we've done that. High school's different because you go around it and then you have a courtyard, right? So we went around and then we went around again inside. That's not what you're supposed to do. You go 1, 2. The problem was when we numbered it, we worked with our first responders about what was best for them. So we did it in conjunction with our first responders, but we were told we did it wrong by TEA. So we had a finding there, and we were working on getting that fixed, which means we're going to have to renumber some of the campus. The other thing was that if, like at the junior high and at Wild Peach, if it's not part of the initial campus, meaning, for example, West Brazos Junior High, you're working around the exterior doors, but then you bump out to that auxiliary gym. That has to be, you do the main building first, then you bump out to any exterior buildings. So we'll have to fix that as well. And that was the extent of our findings. So overall, pleased with the results. The interviews with staff went well. The lady was very impressed with what we do here. And as Mr. Galloway said, our findings were minimal. So if you have any questions, again, that's another 120-page report that I've attached to Board Book. If you have any questions, please reach out to me and let me know.
Thank you for putting that together, and congratulations on getting all the paperwork right.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
No worries.
Seems academic, but in the end, it's protecting kids, and we appreciate you.
That's right.
All right, the instructional report.
Instructional report, we don't have a whole lot, but I do just want to recognize the amount of student recognitions that you see in the district, and from all of our campus, from the little ones on up. It's fantastic, the things that our staff is doing to recognize kids. Next, Mr. Kinney's fixing to give a graduation report.
And you have one in your folder as well.
Right, but before we get there, I want to talk about the more you do is so much more than we used to do, if that makes sense. Over the years, we talk about what our traditions are of how we've always done something. But the more students you recognize and the opportunities they are, you can't hold fast to the way you used to do things. You just don't have the time, and it just doesn't work. And so sometimes, especially at the high school, there's shifts, whether it's a graduation course, right? Certain things used to be done at the scholarship night, right? Well, we do so much more now. Scholarship night would be 5 hours long. And you see the people that are coming to give scholarship awards. You pay attention to the people stepping up on the stage and their age and things like that. They can't sit in the seat for 5 hours. They won't come if you do it, right?
Lower and lower
Exactly.
They give and walk out. Yeah.
So anyway, before Mr. Kinney goes there, if you really didn't catch that, so graduation cords, right? Kids that have earned cords, you put pictures up. You had 98 students, 98 seniors, earned 250 graduation cords.
Okay. Just the cord ceremony.
Yeah, and so we now have a cord ceremony that is kind of a senior day that parents are invited to, but it's different, right? It's the second year we've done it. Then you have scholarship night. You saw the $2.7 million handed out in scholarship night, right? Just fantastic. The number of kids going into military service, an appointment to Annapolis, right? Just fantastic things. Then, additionally, you have those same seniors are going to earn an additional 210 college, career, and military readiness cords that are going to be handed out at graduation practice, right? There's just no way to do that in one night, right? So anyway, things change as we grow. We just wanted to reiterate that because we try to do that. And then just keep in mind as Mr. Kinney goes through the graduation, there's going to be just a few slight tinkering changes to the graduation ceremony on how that works. But it's in an effort to make it more productive, more organized, and more pleasing to the eye for the people sitting in the stands. Okay.
As you can see at the bottom of the page, just for reference, our 222 graduating seniors have 537 cords they earned this year. So pretty amazing. So we have 222 students eligible to graduate this year. 23 were foundation diplomas and 199 of them are distinguished diplomas. We currently have 3 life skills students that are graduating and will be participating in the ceremony. We will have 2 seats of remembrance for students that have passed away that would be part of this graduation class. So we're just going to do something simple to remember them. We have 10 early grads that are graduating this year. 6 students completed the Senate Bill 149 or our IGCs. Those are all complete and graded and done. So they're ready to go. We have 1 student that is still classified as a junior. He will be a 6th year student, but we are working with him to potentially graduate this summer. So with that, we will have graduation practice Thursday morning at 9:45. We're going to begin that in the gymnasium, especially with the forecast for rain. And then if a window opens that we can get outside and practice, we will get outside and practice. So majority of our practice will be in the gym just so we can have the kids dry and paying attention, right? And then if the sun is shining, we like to start there just because we don't want them to get sunburned. We've had that occur because we've been out there making sure that we get it correctly before the real ceremony. We don't want them to be sunburned. So we're making a little shift. Instead of meeting the kids out at Griggs Field for the entire practice, we're moving into the gym to do what we can in there before going out and practicing on the field. Then the ceremony will be that night, like I said, under blue skies, beautiful weather, starting at 8 p.m. at Griggs Field. LD Systems will be doing the sound this year. We used to have Brian Bracemore, who's not doing that anymore. So LD Systems, who does Deer Park's graduation, they do Angleton's graduation, so they're familiar with the graduation process and outdoor graduations. And they've been down on site, and so they'll be here that day to set up. We'll make sure that we have everything set up, ready to go. They're providing the sound this year. We're asking staff to be at Griggs Field at 6:45 to begin preparing. We're asking that the kids come at 7:10. It's a little bit earlier than normal. This is just in case we don't get the beautiful blue skies and we have to look at a window of time and start early. We've got the kids there early, ready to go. So I sent that communication out to all senior parents through an email to all parents with contingency plans if weather is bad, letting them know that the earliest we would start if a window is provided would be 7:30. We would not start any earlier than that. If we need to bump it back, we will continue to bump back as long as we need to or can that evening. Our goal is to get it in Thursday night, okay? We're asking that board members arrive by 7:20. Even if we have the 7:30 start time, that gives you time to get there and be ready. Most of you are usually there beforehand anyway, but if we could be there by 7:20 to make sure we're ready to roll just in case. We're planning on the program taking just an hour, a little over an hour. If we do have to go to a window of time, we will have an abbreviated script just so to make sure that we can get through it a little bit quicker, with still giving the acknowledgement that the seniors deserve in this graduation ceremony. And then we will have 12 of our CBISD police officers on duty, and we've got those stationed around the facility ready to roll. And like Mr. Galloway said, I have the cord and scholarship information for you. Just run through again at the cord ceremony. We had 98 students recognized with 250 cords through 12 different organizations. At senior scholarship night, there were 189 scholarships awarded, and that's how we got to over the $2.7 million. And then 77 cords were also presented that night, 35 honor cords and 42 Brazosport College cords. And then, as he mentioned, 210 cords will be given at graduation practice for them to wear that evening, and that gives us the total of 537 cords that our seniors will be wearing at our ceremony.
That's awesome.
Any questions on any of that?
Plan B, if you need a plan B.
As I said, we're gonna try everything we can to find that window Thursday night. If we can't, plan B is to find a window starting no earlier than 10 a.m. Friday morning.
Right.
And we'll just kind of watch the forecast and see when we can get that window in. We know we have families coming from out of town, some flying, some driving, however they're getting here. They don't have time to sit and wait for us to wait until. So we're gonna get it in as quickly as we can to try to accommodate all of the people. Our last resort is the gymnasium, only because we would have to limit the number of people that can come and watch loved ones graduate. We don't want to do that if we don't have to. If we have to, then we will use the gym. It's a beautiful facility. We've talked about broadcasting to Charlie Brown so other people can come sit in Charlie Brown and watch, be present but not in the gymnasium, but watch it on a live stream. If we have more people, we could go into the cafeteria, we could go into the library and set up stations for them to watch a live stream of the graduation if needed. So that's plan A, B, and C.
I'm only reason why I ask is, there's a lot of people putting in Plan Bs just for.
Absolutely.
Because of the forecast.
Yep. So, we've worked on that.
So we've talked about it. I mean, that's been something we've been following for the last week. Kind of what our weather forecast shows is that you won't have steady rain, you're gonna have rolling storms. And so we just need an hour and a half, right?
Correct.
So we're gonna be, and the kind of what Mr. Kenny, so we're looking for that first hour and a half to get it done. We're not gonna pass it up, and then we're not gonna say again, well, we're gonna go 8 o'clock Friday night, and then.
And then there's a window.
Right.
Before that, we're getting it in this soon, the earliest window that we can.
Fantastic baccalaureate Sunday night.
Thank you.
It's very good.
Good job.
Pastor Walker did a great job. I love the visualization he used with the tape measure and the graduations. And, yeah.
The graduations?
That's great.
Graduations, that's right.
All right, is that it? Financial report.
Okay, this time, I'm just throw this out there, you know, we moved to Skyward. And so when we did this financial report, we did it the same way we did last month. There could be some tweaks in the actual numbers just because we're trying to put two systems together because we didn't have our July through March in Skyward. We were having to go back and forth between the two systems to get it. We now have it as of yesterday, but we're 83% through the school year, and our actual usage in general fund, we're at about 81%. We know we were talking about the roofing and what we thought. You know, if you look down on the expenditure summary budget on that first page down to the facilities, function 81, you know, we started out with that 1.3 million, which included, it's kind of where we put our disaster pennies, and you'll see next to it, we've spent 132, but that's a little deceiving because that's actually what we've paid on the fire loss, and the money we got back from the bank is not showing in here, so really that should be like 25,000 there just to show that was our deductible that we had to pay. So, you know, just knock on wood, nothing happens. I would expect that, you know, we would have at least 1.3 going into fund balance, 1.2. The only one that's close to being over budget is transportation, and that's just because we have those buses in there and we haven't got our rebate back from that. Ray sent me information today that they feel like we'll get it in the next couple of weeks, so we should have it by year end, so that would alleviate that being close to being, you know, over budget. So everything else is coming in. You can look and see everything else is hovering around, you know, 78 to 80%, which is what we want to see. So that's kind of where we're at on current budget. Any questions?
Anybody have any questions? Already good. All right. So, you gonna do this budget report as well?
Yes.
Okay.
So, you know, for Jackie and Linda and Greg, you know, we were at the budget workshop. You'll remember we were showing somewhere around, I think it was 1,078,000 as a deficit. After getting updated revenue projections and tweaking our expenditures, we going into Skyward, we found errors that we had to go back and correct on some salaries and just different things. And so all that has updated all these numbers. And so we're looking at a $1,042,000 deficit. The revenues came in a little bit higher, and so it, I think I have my pages mixed up in there, sorry about that. what I increased there was our interest earnings, because I had put on there, I think like 225,000. I did increase that to 400 because we've got almost 600,000 this year. So that's probably still a little low. I'm just being a little conservative, and so that's a little low.
But you're saying it's still a conservative revenue estimate,
It is. It is. I didn't.
which is good.
Yes. The only one I really increased was building rentals because we have been renting a lot more than we have in the past. But the interest earnings for sure is a little low. Since we'll have money going in fund balance, I don't anticipate it being less. Our interest rates have stayed pretty steady in the low, good 3.5 range.
So you're saying we're putting money in fund balance, you said?
I think we will, because if you looked on, when I gave the current budget, putting money in fund balance this year for 25, 26. Even though, I mean, to me, I really feel like that what we put in this year, depending on this number, and I think we're, the estimate of the 1,042,000, I think that we will still, over the 2-year period, 25, 26, 26, 27, it will, even though it's a deficit for this year, it'll wind up washing it out. You know, what we put in this year, you'll have the new fund balance to cover for this deficit. Because we've always had, every time we've done a deficit, we've had, for the last 2 years that we've done deficit budget, we haven't come in showing a deficit. Something's always happened. We've had, this year, disaster pennies that kind of made up that difference last year. Even bond money that's helped with projects that would have come out of fund balance that we've been able to pay out of here. But if you take the 2 years combined, I don't, in total, if we had this full deficit showed up this year, 26, 27, I think you would have put enough in fund balance this year that would cover that. So your fund balance would remain consistent as it is right now. If you look at it over 2 years, you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or is that confusing?
No, looking back at what we've had extra.
Yes.
So in the budget workshop the other day, you said something about a possible 450,000 coming in. Is that?
I have, that is not even included on this budget.
No.
Or, no, because we don't know what it's gonna be. We don't know when we're gonna get it. We don't know when it's gonna be, that they're starting the progress, they're starting to just implement it. So while we know we'll be getting something, we don't know what it is. So I'm conservative and I don't put it in.
So, yeah, and we've conservatively, so in special ed funding is what we're talking about with the change. And so we have guidance that all of that, it will be reported through PEEMS, and all of that, it will be an October submission, right? So the submission on all of that is not even going to be done until next October. And so Julie's still giving you a very conservative budget, just like she has the last few years, right? And so
I think our expenses are pretty on point. I think our revenue is going to be more, but I don't know for sure, so I don't want to put something in there until we see it. We just can talk about, yes, we're probably going to get that. We just don't know how much.
Well, and keep in mind this year too, it was the estimate, the revenue estimate was done based on an average daily attendance that was very conservative. And quite honestly, we've shared information with you all year about the enrollment is up from last year. Our campuses have worked their tails off to increase attendance, and they've done that. And so while we keep talking conservative, let's don't forget all of that work that's happened, okay? So it's there, right?
And this is based on 2680 average daily attendance. Yes.
Right. Which we're exceeding that right now. And as far as our look, we kind of anticipate our enrollment actually being up again next year. Now, up doesn't mean huge, but yeah, exactly.
Up to experience down to.
Amen.
I mean, you have the new subdivision in Missouri that should have some houses in it by then, and RX is still growing, so New Lake's still growing.
And then the next, page 3 and page 4, that's just showing you the difference year over year. of what we've adopted in years past, what we're proposing this year. Page 4 is just the expenditures. Again, showing the deficit. You can see the difference between each function going back to 21, 22. And then on page 5, you can actually see the percent change in these year over year. And then page 6 is broken out by object code, so you can see payroll cost, contracted services, everything for each function, and see what we're spending, kind of breaks that out for you. Does anyone have any questions about the budget portion of it?
So today, in that June workshop, I didn't bring that previous one with me. I left it at the house. I apologize, but there's not that much difference between today and that.
No, it was about 40,000.
Yeah.
Less. It changed between, there's more revenue, there's more expenses where we tweaked that with changes that happened up through today. This is, it is truly up through today on salaries. Where we might have had, we were gonna hire a teacher for 57, but we found an experienced teacher that is a little more, so that's all in here. There are no raises in this budget. It is what they're making now. I did put two things in the packet behind that. Was I put an active care, TRS active care health plan to show y'all kind of we had about a 12% increase in healthcare for the people's healthcare premiums. And it's showing you the annual increase of what our employees are gonna have to come up with. Just to kind of show y'all, with what they're making right now, if someone is employee only on Texas, they're gonna pay $744 a year more for their health care than they did this year. Because they had a rate increase of about 12.3% across the board for each plan. And so I kind of put that in there for you to see, one, the annual increase. You can see the number of employees who have each of those plans. You can see if they're made up of salaried people, teachers, or if they're hourly employees. I also put a possible wage increase in here, just giving y'all some percentages of if we gave a 1%, 2%, or 3% raise, or if you did, everybody gets $1,000, everybody gets $1,500, just to kind of give you something to think about. Not that you have to do anything before we do the budget, but not doing anything, you can see everyone would look like they got a pay decrease when they get their first check because there's nothing, because of insurance. And there's other things that you can do. Mr. Galloway and I were talking about it.
One of the things we always talk about when it comes to compensation, we do contribute $285 per month for every employee that takes health care through TRS, right? Not every employee, you can see the numbers all the way to the right. But, one of the things we're concerned about, when you look at the number of hourly employees, we have a lot of our employees that do that, meaning some of them could be working for insurance.
Yeah,
Right.
we have people that
Right, and so that, that's one of the things, and that's just as a way you can address that. Now, if you were to add to that monthly contribution, it doesn't affect everybody, it only affects the ones who take it. But you're helping a designated people that that it's hitting the pocketbook. So that's one thing you could do. As we're talking about comp, we've been through this, all of you on the board have been through that. We kind of give you that 1% number, so you can calculate whatever you want, right? It gives you that calculation. To to do that. You know, you can also look at, we prefer to keep it that way because that money then rolls into TRS, anything you give. If you were to do the like stipends or bonuses and that kind of stuff, those things don't actually figure into TRS calculations at the end there, so it doesn't help somebody that may be retiring as far as their annual salary and so forth. So anyway, just wanted to give you that information. Keep in mind, we had in recent years gotten to where we would actually approve it in June, so it's effective in July if we did a compensation package with an increase. But keep in mind, several years ago, it was the norm that we didn't take any action. We would approve a budget, but we wouldn't take any action on actual salaries until August, right? Because those teachers, let's just use teachers, for example, on 187 contract, their first paycheck is that September 10th pay date. And so if you did it in August, it gives time for that. You do have employees that are 220s, 195s, 226 and so forth. If you just backdate theirs, then there's a settle up. And that used to be the norm that we used to do. So I think what Julie's saying is that she's giving you information. You don't necessarily have to act on anything compensation in June. We just get the budget done, which in our budget meeting, I think we all said we were comfortable with where we're at. Things really haven't changed. You can address that compensation later if you want, right? I think we've talked to, there have been some districts that have stepped out and said, we're doing this. A lot of them haven't.
A lot of them are saying, we're in a deficit, we don't know what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
They're putting out percentages, they're putting out teachers just getting a step and hourly employees getting a percent, but no one was committed to saying.
You know, as I was telling Julie, as an example, you know, let's use the last year, the mandated teacher, if you fit that calculation, $4,000 for district a certain size, and then for districts our size, $8,000. Well, let's just use an example of an employee. You can see one employee, it's going to get that same $8,000 this year, right? But if they're insured, if they're going to pay $2,500, if they're family, let's say leader of the family, they're going to pay for their family, it's going to be $2,500 more a year. Their insurance went up this past year. That $8,000 is not equaling $8,000 anymore, right? So that's one of those things that we locally pay attention to that doesn't necessarily make the news all the time.
When was the last time we increased our monthly?
I don't know. It's been, I don't remember the last time we increased it.
When was the last time we increased our portion?
If I had to guess, 2013, 14, something like that. Because it used to be 250. Yes. We went to 285 from 250.
You know, the family spouse, they don't have a limit of full family. I mean, like, they don't have like, if you have 5 kids, you gotta do more, they have it limited straight across family, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, you have it, you can do employee and children.
Right, that's what I meant,
Or employee
children.
and spouse. But
Right.
if it's spouse and kids, it's family.
That's it, okay. And there's no,
Yeah, if
limit,
it's
'cause
one
we had
kid,
some
one
large
spouse, or
spots.
7
What
kids,
about
one spouse. Yeah.
that? Okay, got it.
And one thing at the bottom, you see employee total 470, and we don't have that many employees. These are people that have been in and out of the plan throughout the year. So if people were in it for 6 months and they left our district, they're still included in these numbers. That's just how it is. So that's the discrepancy you see, but we do have 250 employees that take insurance.
Is that 285 pretty standard, like across the district?
It's gotten to be where that's low. I know districts that do 350, 325. Yeah. And, you know, we've had that talk before as boards years ago, and when we wanted to do something, the thought process of the majority of the board was to do something that it's everybody, right? Everybody gets it.
Yeah.
And so, but again, that's, yeah.
So if you give more, then you may actually have more people that signed up for it, so it's costing you more either way. So.
Right, true that. Because it does, I mean, even that, and Julie will tell you, I think Julie and I had talked in like her first year here when she was preparing the budget, you didn't, when that number changes about what people are taking, it really, it's
a game changer in your numbers. I mean, if you're expecting 200 people to take it and 300, I mean, you're, it, yes. Yes. It just happened to help us that
But that's
first
just another example of the budget process. We're giving you something, but
We won't know.
we
till
won't know the
September.
final still.
I mean, even the number I gave you there, I won't know until September. I'm looking at what they got this year.
Yeah.
You know, we could hire 10 people, and that's another $285 for those 10 people every month. That you just won't know till September and they enroll.
It is the fun of this budget process. We never know anything to be a solid insurance.
Insurance, that's insurance.
Anybody else have any questions or anything? All right. Thank you, Miss Julie. Got a bond report?
Not anything new other than we talked earlier about closing things down. We're getting very, very close, I think. I've been working with Jennifer McIntosh and Julie's people. I think we're really, really close. We got, I think, meaning I don't think all expenses have been identified. I don't see it changing between now and then. And the only thing could change would be if something popped up on the Ag Barn project, of which we're rolling right along. And I've talked about some increased expenses on the Ag Barn, but if you remember, we approved the 2.5, but that included contingencies. But on my side, I had counted on not using some contingencies. And so even though we've had some additions we've had to make, they're covered in the overall budget. It's just on my side, I had counted on bringing some back.
That we're still underneath the 2.5.
That we're still underneath the 2.5, yes, sir. Yeah, we're doing really well, and those ads are fantastic. I think the entrance in and the drive to that parking facility, which is gonna have concrete handicapped area now, it's the right thing to do. And I think you're gonna be really proud of that facility when we're done with it.
That's the most asked question. What's that thing going in the lobby? Yeah, get it. All right, so we'll move to our action items and time to administer the oath of office to the newly elected trustees.
So a little change, I think Jennifer's gonna be taking over this responsibility, right? Okay.
Okay, Ms. Huebner.
Yes.
Apparently when you have to sign it, they make you do it.
Do what?
Because I have to sign it.
Oh, yeah. In the name and all that too? Just read here, start here. I've only done this 6 times. I'm not supposed to know. I, Linda Huebner, do solemnly promise that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Columbia-Brazoria Trustee, position number 7 of the state of Texas, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state. So help me God.
Congratulations.
Yeah, you gotta get out there in the front.
I, Jackie Gocher, do solemnly swear and affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Columbia-Brazoria Trustee, Position 6 of the state of Texas, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state. So help me God.
And of course, our third elected trustee is Julie Taylor, and she's gonna finish out her contract through the end of June, and she will be sworn in and joining us. Maybe, can she do it if she's done at 5 o'clock? Can we have her at 6?
Just can't be employed. Yep, you're right.
Okay, well,
So we're looking for it. We'll make sure we get that scheduled.
that's good. All right.
Julie?
All right, reorganization of election of officers.
So I was asked to, with the process we used the last several years as far as the election of officers, I put out an email and asked everybody to respond individually to me. I take the majority of those responses for each of the positions. I contact the person that's been nominated and ask them if they'll serve in that position. I didn't get any no's, and so what was shared with me for the slate of officers would be President would be Becky Danford, Vice President would be Greg Cresta, and Secretary would be Jackie Gocher.
Keep writing.
Okay, so we'll need a motion to accept that slate of officers.
I'll make a motion.
And a second, thank you, Ray.
I'll second.
And Jana will second it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, very good. All right, Ms. Danford.
We'll do it. No, you're good.
Go ahead and take over from there.
I think you've finished.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah, so
Okay.
one of the things we've done when there has been a change is that just keep it effective to the next meeting, which means like diplomas at graduation and all that kind of stuff. It kind of fits, and you serve it and just make it effective the next meeting. Okay.
Okay, so we have, the next item is consider naming of a district facility. We haven't talked about that, so go ahead and give us some background.
So
on
just a
that.
little background. I think the last time we were really involved is when we actually named this building. Board policy says it, identifies what kind of person it has to be, and then what the process is. So what has happened is Wes Griggs, whose grandfather he was actually the second superintendent, but most people consider him the first, who our football field, Griggs Field, is named after, has written a letter to you requesting that you consider a name change to Griggs Field. And what he is suggesting is that with the recent passing of Coach Jack Hayes, he's asking, and Wes played for Coach Hayes, and he's asking for the board to consider some type of hybrid name. He doesn't want you to really take Griggs Field off, but somehow or another add Jack Hayes to it. So whether it be Griggs Field at Jack Hayes Stadium or something along those lines. So that's what he's asking you to do. As you can see, our board policy, you can't take any action tonight because your board policy actually says that it has to be listed on 2 consecutive board meetings, right? So what you could do is more or less, you're just going to hear the issue and take no action tonight.
Okay.
You can say, place it on the next board meeting, and we'll place it on the next board meeting for consideration. The next board meeting doesn't mean you have to take action. You can still not take any action and just say place it on the next meeting. And I say that because if you ever drop it off and not have it posted on the agenda and you decide to revisit it, you got to post it twice again. Right. So that would be my suggestion, and if there's any concerns. And like I told Wes, he fully understands. Nobody expected this. There was not a community movement. It's something he asked what the process was, and I said, well, you need to write us a letter and explain that. But I will tell you that he has contacted everyone in his family, and everyone in his family is supportive of the move as well, just in case there was any, you named it, don't change it, right?
Right.
So, anyway, with Coach Hayes, if you look at our history, Coach Hayes, obviously, when he came here, his coaching record, he has the most wins in Columbia Roughneck football history as a head coach at this time. He was.
Isn't he the only one that took to the state too?
Correct.
Yep.
Right. He's the only one, yeah, he's the only head coach that ever made it to the state game in football. So I can tell you this, much respected, well respected, very community active after he got out. I mean, that just, there's no doubt he was a supporter. I can remember him talking to me when I first came to the district. I mean, it's just, there wasn't anything here, there wasn't anything about this district where the kids he didn't support, I can tell you that.
When you hired me,
Yep.
don't date me, don't look at those dates.
So do we need to take any action, whether it's postponed it or just?
I would just say.
We do a
that-
second read on it the next meeting.
Yeah, given, this is a little different, right? Because
Yeah.
you're not really taking, you're just saying we're gonna take no action. But my suggestion, the action would be to, let's place this on the July agenda, if that's what you, yeah.
June.
Excuse me, June agenda, because that would be a problem. So, yeah, if we're gonna, the action would be to recommend putting this on the June agenda.
Would someone like to?
I'll make a motion that we put this, consider naming of a district facility on the June agenda.
I second it.
Great. All right, we have a motion and a second to move this consideration to next month in June. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, very good. We'll make sure that gets on the agenda. All right, now it's time for the roofing project. So we talked about it. We had an opportunity to ask questions. If somebody would make a motion, if you're interested in making a motion to approve the addition of the district roofing project to the Columbia High School bond project.
I'll make that motion.
All right,
I'll second.
and
So if I could just, if I could have.
yes, go ahead.
So that extra to add the top, do you want to do the high school piece of it, yes or no?
Yes. I mean, I do.
So the whole
I mean,
thing is
The whole,
presented.
no, as presented then?
That's all.
Okay, okay, all right.
Does anybody else have any questions or clarifications or anything? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay.
Thank y'all very much.
That's exactly what that disaster penny's for though.
I agree, that's, you're exactly right.
We talked, we sit in here with Jonathan 4 years ago, and we said, how are we gonna pay for roofs without a bond? And we paid for most of it out of the bond, but I mean, how you get the rest of it, I mean, it's.
No, I agree, it's great work, it's great work, I agree with you, Greg.
Okay, so, our next item is to consider June board meeting dates.
All right, I put this on the, just because you're not gonna be having your June board meeting at the regular time. I just wanted to, you're making a motion to have your meeting on June the 30th, Tuesday, June the 30th, just so that we're taking that, if anybody was to question that. And that we would have a special meeting or meetings in June if we needed to do it for personnel reasons. Right, so.
Okay, so we need to make a motion on it, including that, though.
The
To move it to
motion is
June 30th with the provision that if we need to have a call
special
meeting.
meeting for
Yes.
personnel.
Okay, I make a motion for that.
I'll second.
Wordy.
Jana made the motion and Jackie seconded it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right. We're moving that meeting date to the 30th of June, 6 o'clock, which is after 5 o'clock. Just making sure that's clear.
That's correct.
All right, so we have our book lists again. We have, the next item is the Barrow Elementary book list.
Sam, has there been any changes in the process?
Nope.
Everything we've talked about, same way, right?
All up on the web for 30 days. Just needs board approval.
All right,
I'll make a motion that we approve the Barrow Elementary book list.
Second.
all right. Ray made a motion and Becky seconded. Anybody have a question? All right, all in favor? Any opposed? That passes. And now the West Columbia Elementary book list. Somebody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the West Columbia Elementary book list.
I second it.
Jackie made the motion and Greg seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? We love books. We're not opposing it. All right, our consent agenda includes the minutes from April 21st, our regular meeting, budget amendments and donations, and the sale of property held in trust, and then the 26-27 school supply list. Does anybody want to pull anything to discuss that? Any of those items? Okay, then we'll need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make the motion to approve the consent agenda.
Becky makes a motion.
I'll second.
Jackie is the second. All in favor? Anybody opposed? All right. And we're going to adjourn to our closed meeting, our closed session pursuant to Texas Governmental Code, the Open Meetings
Last year,
Act,
I don't know.
to consider the employment of professional personnel